All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are breaking down Lions rookie linebacker Jack Campbell and his performance against the Raiders and a few other extra plays thrown in there as well. This is an exciting rookie, a lot of great film to look at. As always, if you appreciate this content, give us a like, give us a comment with any feedback you might have. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, we're going to open up the run defense. There's Campbell right there. The Raiders are running just a kind of power scheme right here. We're going to get double teams from the center and guard over to the backside linebacker. We're going to get blocked down by the left tackle on the defensive end. He's kind of lined up in what we call a 4-eye because he's on the inside eye of the tackle there. Michael Mayer, the Raiders tight end, is going to kick out the end man on the line of scrimmage. You can't see the receiver. He's off the screen. He's going to try and insert and block the safety. That leaves the fullback, and let me clear the picture for you guys right there. That leaves the fullback. He is going to lead this way, one-on-one, mano-a-mano on Jack Campbell right there. This is a play right here. If you're going to be a quality linebacker in the NFL, you got to play off a fullback and make a tackle. Otherwise, it's a big running play for the offense. Let's check out how Campbell does. All right, you can see the down blocks. You see the fullback right there. Josh Jacobs sees this hole. He's cutting back. Look at all this green grass, folks. This has a chance to be a monster running play, one-on-one in the safety, because they got everybody washed back to the right. They're on the backside linebacker. This has a chance to be a huge play for the Raiders. But watch Campbell. Physical at the point of attack, comes off, makes a tackle, 2 or 3 yard run. Again, I guarantee you, watching the broadcast live, looked like a good play, nothing special from the young linebacker. But this is a saving tackle of a 20 or 30 yard run. Because right here, look at all this space, folks. These two defensive tackles right here, they have no chance to make the play. Maybe he comes off. I kind of doubt it. Would be a heck of a play. Looks like it's going to be one-on-one in the safety right around midfield to prevent this from being a 20-yard play or a touchdown. But Campbell comes off the block from the fullback, and that's a pretty good fullback. Look at this contact right here. Boom. That's old school football. That's great to see. Don't see that a lot in today's NFL. But big-time contact there. Campbell comes off, makes a play. It's the difference between 2nd and 7 and a 20-yard run. This is why your run defense looked really good against the Raiders, and this is why your run defense will continue to look better and better. I tell you what, Campbell's got some things to improve on. There's no doubt about it, but his physical nature, his quality tackling, his tackling, and his overall competitiveness is outstanding.
Yeah, Nick, and that is one thing this guy is. He's the epitome of a sure tackler. He's at a 70 plus PFF grade for the tackling attribute in every single game this season, topping out at an 80.2 as his highest grade. He's an 88.6 overall in the tackling department. This guy, when he gets his hands on you, he is as sure as they come in the tackling department.
All right, speaking of tackling, this may be my favorite play of Campbell all night long. There he is right there, number 46, of course, in the middle of the field. And the Raiders are going to run a bootleg action. They're going to get all their offensive linemen working to their left, all right. They're going to get the running back working that way to sell the fake as well. They're going to get the tight end from Austin Hooper for the Raiders. He's going to work this way and get in the flat this direction right here. The goal from the Raiders is to create motion for the defense that way and then get a bootleg action coming across to hit this tight end. And the Raiders actually get a really lucky break here because the Lions, you can't see him. He's off the edge of the page, coming off a corner blitz from this side. So that means the safety has to stay deep. That means the linebackers have to stay deep as well, make sure they don't get too aggressive. But again, watch Campbell here. Watch him read, react, and when he comes to make the tackle, he does it with violent intentions. Let's check out how this goes. All right, you can see the action. You can see the play action, right? You can see the corner coming off, delivering a nice, clean shot to Jimmy G. Like to see that. But again, you can see no one in the flat for the tight end. Campbell's got to stay where he is because, again, they're blitzing the corner. He can't vacate his coverage. But watch his closing speed and watch his finish. Flips him out of bounds right there. Oh, my goodness, folks. I could watch that all day. One of the things about tackling I always felt, especially from linebackers, is deliver some violence into this game. Make these tight ends, running backs, receivers earn every yard they get. Because this is a good play for the Raiders, right? The 7-8 yard completion, not a bad spot to be in. But I tell you what, that's a painful collision. That's good, clean, fundamental football. Comes to the sideline. Look at that right there. Like to have your head up a little bit just for pure tackling for him. But he's got a shoulder pad on the hip, driving his legs, good pad level, and absolutely obliterates this human being out of bounds. This is good old school physical football. This is what I love watching about Campbell. Like when I put on his film, it just looks like something that could be from the 60s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. Seems like a little bit of a throwback with the way linebackers play today. But I tell you what, his physical nature, it allows the Lions to get creative and do some other things. And I tell you what, with tackles like that, that gets your defense excited. I know that gets the coaches excited. This is an awesome play from the rookie right here.
Yeah, Nick, this guy looks like an actual ballistic missile coming to the sideline. He blows this guy up, knocking him all the way from, like, was that like 10 yards in the air, I think. He got so much hang time from this hit. Like you said, Jack Campbell, this guy plays old school style linebacker, kind of the grit, the determination this Lions defense needed to get them to the next level. And this hit is something that Raiders player will remember for the rest of the game, and he will fear whenever Jack Campbell comes around the line of scrimmage.
All right, going back to a run defense, there is Campbell right there, of course. The Raiders are running a very similar scheme as we saw earlier. We're going to get double teams here between the center and the right guard, working up to Anzalone, the backside linebacker in this scheme. The backside offensive linemen are all going to work out. The tackle right here is going to block down. The tight end, Michael Mayer, is going to kick out the end man on the line of scrimmage, and the fullback is going to insert right here for Campbell. This is another great job from Campbell playing off the block. And the way he's just so physical at the point of attack, it forces the running back, in this case, Josh Jacobs, to redirect into where the defense's help is. Again, this play is 100% made by Campbell. Let's check it out. All right, right there, you can see the double team working up to Anzalone right there. You can see the block down on 79. You can see the tight end kicking out 99. You can see the hole right here. This is exactly where Campbell's going to fill right here. You can see the fullback coming right there. This has to be a violent collision, and you have to come off and make the play. Look what Campbell does here. Completely just dislocates the fullback right there, forces him back inside, forces the running back inside, excuse me. Again, right here, here's almost the goal. You hear about nose guards and defensive linemen inside. They want to create piles so that way the running back can't find a hole. It can be the same kind of concept for linebackers taking on blockers in the hole as well. Because right here, if you're Jacobs, obviously 79 is doing a great job playing off that block, but even if he wasn't, there's nowhere to go, right? You're running right into Campbell right there. Otherwise, you have to bounce it outside or inside, which is what he does. And Campbell actually ends up coming across and making the tackle anyway. This is how you take on fullbacks, right? Not a lot of linebackers in today's NFL can do that. But he completely engages him, stymies him in the hole right there. Boom, just shocks him, and then comes off and makes a tackle. It is this nitty-gritty football, right? Because teams like the Raiders and better versions of the Raiders, I'm thinking like the San Francisco 49ers, for example, they love to play power football, these kind of concepts, because a lot of defenses aren't used to it in this day and age. But guys like Campbell can be the answer to that. Taking on fullbacks at the line of scrimmage, right? Imagine it's a playoff game, right? This is use check for the San Francisco 49ers. They're a great fullback. You're going to have linebackers that can play off fullbacks and make tackles. And that's exactly what Campbell can do. And that's exactly what he does right here. All right, going the other way with it now, there is Campbell, of course, right there. He is on the offense's left, the left side of our screen as well. And this is a situation where I just want to highlight, because Campbell does a really nice job. This is going to be a disguise blitz, and he fires in this gap. It's a good design by Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, and good job to get an open lane and pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo. This highlight here, this play here, shows exactly why it's so hard to play defense in the NFL. Campbell gets called for a penalty that isn't at all his fault. But again, it just happens in today's NFL. Let's check out how it goes. All right, right there, you can see the hole open up. Oh my goodness, this is what you live for a linebacker, right? The offensive line scanning to his right. They're sliding to the right, right? This is a slide right protection from the offensive line. You can see everyone working that way. You can see the left guard and left tackle. They're responsible for the two guys head up. Running backs releasing in a pass route. So right here, Campbell, free shot on Jimmy Garoppolo. This is awesome. It's going to be an incomplete pass, maybe a sack fumble. Most likely the quarterback, especially a veteran guy like Garoppolo, is going to get rid of it quickly. But watch what happens. And it looks like Campbell just falls and just completely falls into Jimmy G's knee. Easy roughing the passer penalty, right? Dumb play for the rookie. That's what everyone said. Got to be better, got to be smarter. But here's the reality. Watch him come through. Folks, he literally got tripped by the left guard. And this is just where it's so hard, right? Not his fault at all. And I don't think that was an intentional trip. It could have been. This is why it's so hard to play defense, right? And this is why I appreciate guys like Campbell in the NFL these days with how fast and aggressive they keep playing despite calls like this. Because here's a guy, you're blitzing through the A gap. You get literally tripped right there. I don't know if it was intentional or not. And because you fall and hit the quarterback in the ankles, you give the offense 15 yards. It is what it is. It's today's NFL. But I tell you what, for a guy like Campbell, he played all game long with reckless abandon. And sometimes you need to learn when to taper it off a little bit, but this isn't one of those times. This is just bad luck. I really love the fact that he keeps coming with an aggressiveness all game, every single snap. This is just an example of how hard it is to play defense. And for anyone who blamed Campbell on this play, you shouldn't have, because this is just a bad case of rotten luck right here.
Yeah, Nick, and Campbell has been the epitome of consistency. He's been very good in the run game, 65.1 run defense grade this season. It's been consistent all season long, doing a lot of really good things. But right here, you see his pass rush ability. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people have been talking about is his lack of pass rush ability. But right here, I think we're highlighting just exactly this guy has the ability to affect the passer. He has the ability to put pressure on him. And I think that's one thing that we need to see a little more from him. And I think we're highlighting it here is this guy has been successful as a pass rusher early on in his career. And I think he's showing that he's putting in the work, he's developing and becoming a really good pass rusher as well, which is the last part of his game he needs to develop to be a complete, true, all-around middle linebacker.
All right, going back to run defense, there is Campbell right there. The Raiders here are trying to run a quick snap, and they're basically just doing a inside zone kind of concept to their left here. We're going to get everybody working this way. It's a short yardage situation. People trying to cut off here. Anzalone here does a phenomenal job getting across the face and making a tackle for no gain. A little bit of a loss here, actually. But again, I want everyone to focus on Campbell because if you look at how this is set up, this play is literally designed to go right between the guard and the tackle. And you can see there's no defensive lineman, a lot of space right there. They actually get one-on-one, number 66 on Campbell right here. But instead of that being a mismatch where Campbell gets blown out, he actually holds his point at the line of scrimmage, creates a solid wall right here, allows Anzalone to come across and make the tackle. Let's watch how it goes. So you get that quick inside zone. So right there, you can see, look how he fills. Short yardage, get downhill, be aggressive. Takes on the guard, shocks the guard right there, creates a wall, allows Anzalone to come in and make the tackle for no gain, a little bit of a loss. Short yardage situation, offense hurries up to the line of scrimmage, trying to get people napping. They have a scheme they really like. Their whole point here is the tackle will handle the in-man on the line of scrimmage. They think their center will be able to handle that defensive tackle, and that guard will work through that defensive tackle, help the center, and that linebacker on left guard is a huge mismatch, especially with Josh Jacobs. They run this play schematically thinking it's an easy first down. In reality, because how aggressive Campbell gets downfield and just shocks the guard right there. You can see this is essentially a stuff. There is nowhere for the running back to go here, and Anzalone's got a beat on him right there. That's exactly what happens. Ends up being a tackle for no gain, maybe a little bit of loss. This is phenomenal short yardage defense. Again, you don't see this a lot from linebackers in today's day and age. Being aggressive, willing and able to take on guards, big, strong physical guards at the point of attack, and not just willing and able to do it, but winning the matchup as well, doing just as good as a defensive lineman. These are the plays, folks. This is why the Lions defense, especially the run defense, I think is going to be a big strength the second half of the season because you have guys like Campbell flying downhill, giving guys like Anzalone opportunities to line up the stat sheet with big plays like this. This Lions defense is really looking fierce. All right, sticking with the run defense, the Raiders here ran what's called a duo kind of concept. So we're going to get left tackle is going to kick out there. We're going to get double teams between the left guard and the center working up to Campbell, linebacker right there. We're going to get double teams between the right guard and right tackle working up to Anzalone right there. Michael Mayer, the tight end, is going to kick out the end man on the line of scrimmage. And the whole point of this scheme is for Josh Jacobs to take this path and basically run up the hash here. That's the natural hole right here. But here's the thing. Anytime a linebacker's got responsibilities for any one of these A gaps, or really any gap in particular, if your responsibility is this gap and you see this offensive lineman go that way and this offensive lineman go that way, you have to fill and fill hard and basically create a pile. Be ready to stymie an offensive lineman or fullback or any kind of lead blocker at the point of attack. Because if this guy's going that way and that guy's going that way, that means your help is going to be over here and over there. You need to force the runner who's going to want to follow this hole into your help, either that way or that way. Let's check out how Campbell does here. Right there, you can see the hole, right? You can see the center go left, the right guard go right. You can see right at the hash. Look what Campbell's already doing, folks. Look how fast he reads this. Gets downhill right there, takes on the offensive lineman. Immediately at this point, Josh Jacobs sees that. He wants to go up the hash. Guess where he has to go? He has to cut back into the help, which is what he does. Limited gain. Josh Jacobs is a really good running back. He does a really good job right here. A lot of running backs, what they do, who aren't patient, who aren't veteran, right here, they'll usually try and bounce it this way and run right into one of these guys, or they'll really try and cut it back wide. Jacobs does a good job staying really north and south. He does just kind of a little hop cut and gets north and south real quick. This is a really great run by Josh Jacobs. But again, Campbell's able to stymie this and create this opportunity by coming down in the hole and taking on that offensive lineman. The only thing I don't like from Campbell is be aggressive with your hands. Because right here, see how it kind of slows down a little bit? I think he sees his buddy right there getting blown into him right there, and he just has to slow down because he's afraid he's going to get run over by his own guy. A little friendly fire. But come into the hole, because we've seen it before. Fire your hands, be assertive, and really establish the line of scrimmage right there. If you do that, this play goes for no gain instead of a couple. But overall, I love Campbell's awareness. I love his understanding. I love how fast he gets downhill. He is a decisive young player. And I tell you what, if you play fast and you play physical in the NFL, especially at linebacker, a lot of good things will happen.
Yeah, Nick. And the way that he's able to make plays, we've seen it time and time again. When you see these young players make plays, you got to think about who they're playing against. And this is a Raiders offensive line who's been absolutely lights out this season. Their record hasn't been able to show how good this offensive line has been. Van Rotten, 77.5 PFF grade, fourth highest rated guard in all of the NFL right now. James, 73.9 PFF grade, ninth highest rated center in all of football right now. This is a team with an offensive line that's killer. You see Miller, 85.1 grade, third highest rated tackle in all of football. This is an offensive line that's absolutely phenomenal. And just seeing Campbell time and time again make plays against an offensive line doing this well just shows how bright of a future this young player has.
All right, going back to the Ravens game, which I know Lions fans, you guys don't want to hear too much about the Ravens game. But one of the things that really stuck out to me is Campbell's versatility, because here he is. He's actually lined up as an outside linebacker. The Lions scheme was to have basically a 5-man front. You can see 3 defensive linemen right there. You can see Hutchinson right there. And Campbell is the 5th guy right over here. I think one of the things that really impresses me about Campbell going back to the Ravens game is his versatility. He can almost play as an outside linebacker as well as an inside linebacker. And again, that'll free up guys like Anzalone to make plays. Watch what Campbell does on this one. He shows off his athleticism and makes a really nice play. Right, you can see the Ravens are running a kind of outside zone scheme to their right, the screen's left. Remember, this is the Baltimore Ravens. I know right now Lamar Jackson's out of the game, but if you're the end man on the line of scrimmage, you got to look for the quarterback first. So you can see right here, this is what the Ravens like to do. They like to get everything working left. They like to hold the backside of the defense because this could be Lamar Jackson coming off the back end, and they like this guy to get his foot in the ground and get aggressive downhill for big runs. This is what the Ravens do, and they are really, really good at it. But this requires a guy like Campbell right here. He has to see it when it's not a quarterback bootleg and get downhill and fill this quickly. He does a phenomenal job of doing just that. Again, recognizes and delivers a blow. Outstanding stuff. 79 does a good job as well coming off. But again, the running back right here, I guarantee you, if Campbell isn't coming down, he takes a wider path and 79 can't even make the play. Campbell does a nice job coming down and delivering with violent intentions. Again, look how he just throws his body around. That's awesome. That's old school stuff. That's what I love to see from a linebacker. Great mental play, recognizes it, and just throw your body in it and make the tackle. That's great football. Again, this was an ugly game for the Ravens. This ugly game for the Lions against the Ravens. Obviously, this was just a total bloodbath. But plays like this, all right, one of those things that really give me optimism for the Lions going forward. Because there are going to be some games where you're going to have to play really talented skill players like the 49ers. Or how about the Philadelphia Eagles? Different offense at the Ravens, but a lot of similar talent guys. You're going to have in-man on the line of scrimmage that can check the quarterback and then come downhill and make a tackle. That's exactly what Campbell does here. I think what we're seeing from Campbell to me is an indication that he could be a counterpoint to the Eagles, to the 49ers, which a team like the Lions right now, as they're gearing up for a potential deep playoff run, desperately needs. And I think his addition to this team, it seems underrated at this point, but I think he's got a future star in front of him, especially in clutch moments.
Yeah, Nick. And the thing that really stands out to me on a play like this is Tyler Huntley's already in the game. The Ravens have benched their starting quarterback. A lot of the starters out of the game. Campbell never stops playing. He's playing to the whistle, plays to the end of the game. No matter how far they are down in a game, Campbell always plays high intensity, high in motor. Some guys would mail it in. Some guys would just be out there going through the motions, waiting for the game to be over. But not Campbell. This guy really loves the game of football, and it shows on plays like this.